There are consequences for not voting, as we have seen. Why do you hate RIX? Fun stuff happens in RIX. Okay, so we have, this is the wrong flying 4 mana white uncommon dinosaur. Oh, sorry, I missed the bonds. I was like, I guess we take the herd collar, but I actually prefer the herd collar in the abstract is maybe more powerful than the luminous bonds by making 2 creatures for 1 card. But Pterodon Might Wheel and luminous bonds puts me in the Esper path that I so love in this format. So we're going to start with the bonds. And Ferocidon, we're not rare drafting. We're not ever going to really draft enough of this format to grind wild cards into gems in the format. So looking at this rare, some people have selected the rare. This really isn't a playable rare. It's 7 mana for an 8/5 with no evasion. So you put 5 damage on it, and this is not good. It like for 7 mana, you need something that just absolutely dominates the board, takes over. Answer this or lose is what you need for 7 mana, and this is nowhere close. This is not really a playable limited card. Asdrith, hello. Well, there you go. So Dionysus and My Name is 14 both failed to vote, but in doing so canceled each other out. So we have Luminous Bonds to start. I like a Mausoleum Harpy because white-black can go down an Esper-type control path, or it can just lead to a white-black control path with sometimes some vampire synergies. So like we could, I don't know if the Conquistadors don't often wheel. I'm not sure what the bots think of Conquistadors. This is a quick aside on like game design stuff. When you're designing bots, like these are the cards that are really tough to have bots treat correctly with a simple algorithm. You know, in game design and in software products, you're trying to get the shortest line between where you are and delivering a playable, functioning product. And Conquistador, like the value of a Conquistador as measured by where you would pick it. Like if 1 means you would first pick it every time, and 14 means it's the worst card in the format, and you'd only take it as the final pick in a booster. Where you would rank Legion Conquistador changes based on a lot of factors, including how many you've seen, how many you have. You know, this is a very complex Magic card to decide to draft, and you really can't just say, you know, if you have the bots say, well, the bots think, you know, on average, players pick Legion Conquistador at pick 5.5, you know, so we'll have the bots pick it at that point. But then if the bots are always treating it as a 5.5, they're not really treating it like a human would. Anyway, there's a little aside on like the complexities of how, you know, where bots fall short, and then the decisions that WotC needs to make around what kind of effort to put in to shore up those kinds of weaknesses. Because you could fix it. You give me a programmer in time, and we'll solve the Conquistador problem, right? But is that time well spent, you know? All right. And looks like there's 50% for the Seer. I don't really like the Seer, even though we have a bonds to start, and this is okay. I really don't want to be white-green at all, so we're going to take the Harpy or the Conquistador. I also don't like the Corsair. If I'm blue, I want to be more controlling, and Corsair is fine. It can be a 2-drop that blocks or whatever, but Harpy is good enough to take here, I think, as the pick. We're seeing a Water Knot in the blue control direction. This is a fine removal spell. We also are seeing, though, 3 vampire cards, and we are only in white-black so far, so we could take a Conquistador here and maybe see if we can't wheel the one we just passed. I like Conquistador number 1 over Paladin number 1. Paladin requires some setup and you generally get it in the vampire deck. But Conquistador doesn't need a vampire deck, or doesn't need, Conquistador needs other Conquistadors, but it doesn't need much setup beyond that. The Water Knot is tempting, but I suppose we can stick to the colors we already have. And I'm going to go down the Conquistador path now. I think it's a good... Yeah, if we can get 3 or 4 Conquistadors, that's kind of where I want to be with that card. So we'll see if we can do that. Divine Verdict is playable, but pretty play-aroundable. And Secrets of the Golden City is appealing to me here, and so is the Evolving Wilds, but maybe we wheel that. Probably not, but maybe. I think it's Secrets or Divine Verdict. The Verdict has the most support. That doesn't surprise me. It's just this isn't a very good card. It generally gets something eventually, but Golden City is great, and kind of want to take the Golden City, but this can also wheel. Since we're leaning definitely to be in white, though, I'll take the Verdict just also to shore up our signaling downstream to bots, which again, LR was just talking about how ignore your signals to the left or whatever, and that's true against human pods where it's less predictable, but you kind of know there's more value in drafting against bots to be aware of what signals you're sending downstream and how it'll impact Pack 2. Hey, Queen, welcome. Glad you could make it. Wondering if we'd get a wave from you today. This is all a bunch of kind of weak stuff. I guess we could take this in the or this. I like a recover, but not a bunch of them. So these are all boring enough that maybe the first recover is correct here. Although we only have the one black card, so by taking a white card, we also stay pretty open in terms of we could still move into being a white-blue type control deck, for example. Hey, Rob. Good morning. And afternoon, Siratemi. Yeah, I'm going to take the recover. The rest of the stuff just didn't seem very, very good. Or important, I should say. It's not we'll take a Sun Sentinel here, maybe. Or Dinosaur Hunter I like a little better. Vigilance on a 2/2 is a bit whatever, whereas Dinosaur Hunter, being able to trade with the same types of things a Sentinel could, plus dinosaurs, puts it over the top as the pick here. All right. This isn't our wheel. I was saying maybe it looks like we wheeled our Pterodon. We may get a pick 9 Pterodon, which would be great. But getting a pick 7 one here is also a good sign for us. It's a great card. Here's a pick 8 one ahead of the potential pick 9, such that I almost want to take the Hornswoggle on the blue hedge rather than... maybe we'll play 3 of these. I guess they really work with each other. They do turn each other... They turn themselves into flying Night Arbiters, I mean, they can be blocked by flyers, but... So, okay, we may be heavy on the Pterodons, but we're going to take it. Yeah, because there's another. And we're going to take it. Revenant. We're just going to own the skies, it looks like. Here's another recover. So now we have effectively 5 Pterodons with the recover. Rekindling Phoenix. Well, we've only got one of those. We could take one of these for the collection. But what would we be giving up? Legion Lieutenant? I think we should take the Lieutenant. We only have one Conquistador, but if we can get some more Conquistadors, the Lieutenant plus Conquistadors is big game. Yeah, this isn't actually going to be... This doesn't represent gems to us because we're never going to really draft this set much more. Pivoting to red-white for this on the strength of the Phoenix? Maybe. We're not We're not that heavy into black, I guess, but this is a good, you know, this is a good reason to stay there. What do you think? I don't know if first red card pack 2, even as good as Rekindling Phoenix overcomes having 5 playables in another color. So if we did that, we'd be looking at having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, to be generous, 7 playables out of the first pack. Yeah, we could pivot because 7 is strong enough to be able to find the playables. You know, if we said we had a 7-pick pack 1, we could get the playables through 2 and 3, picking up a new color right here. But the Lieutenant is very good. We only have 2 Vamps so far, but we're trying to get this going. And when you can get this going, you have 1 million Vamps, and turning them into 3/3s is really, really big here. I want to kind of stick. I'm going to stick to the white black. It was a close call, and if you were in the Phoenix camp, I don't blame you. But I kind of just want to try this direction. We're trying to wheel this Sentry, which is a fine card, and maybe take. Yeah, these secrets are. I love me some blue. So when I'm not in blue in this format, I always feel sad. We can take a Dusk Charger here though, and try to wheel one of these two. I think is the way to go here. Revenant is okay, yes, and we have the Lieutenant, but we're going to wheel it. The Revenant tends to come very late. The bots don't value the Dusk Charger that much either, but I think they value it a little more than the Revenant, so we're going to try and pull off the wheel. Moment of Craving. Saw the Sanctuary, and that was appealing, but removal is great. We'll take that. More removal. Yep. Vamps are not flowing, unfortunately. I mean, here's a Vamp, but it's not a good one, and we're not going to take it. I'd rather take this and still hold out hope that we can pick up enough go wide here. Yuck. I guess here, I mean, we could take the rare, but again, we're not. I'm never drafting enough cut purses to make this rare draft matter. I really don't want to play this barrier, but in the case that we just end up in that spot, I'll take it. Here's a vampire I'm willing to take at this point. Not great, but we'd play it with what we've got going on. Here's another charger. And the Snubhorn came back. Didn't we want... What was the other one? I thought the vampire was going to come back, and it didn't. Interesting. Or maybe that's the next pick. Oh, that's next pick. So we get the Snubhorn, and then I'm hoping the vampire shows up. Oh, man. Uncommon, I guess. Maybe we'll take this in case of red splash, but because we're never playing the Plunderer. All right, that Vamp didn't come back. That makes me sad. Really thought it would. I don't think we're ever playing Dark Inquiry either, but Highland Lake also not really. Still, yeah, I'll take the Vault Progress. Is that the first one then? Huh. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, at least we got Snub. Well, here's a splashable red card. We did take this this Stone Quarry, so we could consider Captivating Crew. At what cost? The cost would be Vanquish the Weak, it looks like. Vanquish the Weak edges out Bloodletter for me, even though we're definitely looking for Vamps here. Captivating Crew. It's good, but I don't know if it's so good that we need to like go out of our way to try and splash it. So let's not take the crew, and let's decide between the Bloodletter or the Vanquish. Based on what we have so far, let's look at our removal. We have Divine Verdict, we have Luminous Bonds, and 2 Moment of Cravings. Do we need more removal, or do we want the Bloodletter to interact, you know, to support the 1 Legion Lieutenant we have, and the fact that it's just a good card. Yeah, chat is leaning towards Vanquish, and I am as well. I really want Vamps, but I don't pass Vanquishes often when I'm black. Contract Killing, more great removal. Here's a Conquistador that we would love to add to our pile, but we have a Fathom Fleet Captain. Let's take a look at this guy. When it attacks, if we control another non-token pirate. So it's a 2/1 menace unless we have a bunch of pirates. And we don't really have... We have one... A full 1. I don't think a 2/1 menace for 1 is worth it. And Contract Killing, while good, I really want to see if we can hit like 2 more Conquistadors before this pack is out. Then I'm actually happy with our Conquistador situation. And so I'm lean. I actually want to take the Conquistador to really try and hit this payoff. We're 2 more away from me being happy about having them, and then it really does make Legion Lieutenant good, because whenever you draw Legion Lieutenant, you are likely to have like 3 Conquistadors out in that spot, and this is just really going to be a 2/1 menace for our deck, which is good. It's fine, it's playable. I would play that, but I think this is more important to what we're up to here. Here's another vampire, and here's one we hope to wheel, or maybe perhaps wheel this. This isn't an amazing vampire or anything, but it is a vampire, and we're going to take it. We got the wrong Chupacabra. And a really expensive vampire. It's vampire, and this is less... relevant, you know. This is playable, but I like it out of the board, not in the main deck if I can help it. But out of the board, this has some applications. I was down on this card for a while, and then was convinced of its sideboarding applications in this particularly grindy matchup type format, but not in the main deck. So we're not going to take Raider's Wake. We're never doing that. We're gonna take the Queen's Agent in case we need to play that. Here's a very late Vanquish, which suggests we're like black is probably the right place to be. Maybe we just didn't find a lot of quality in the packs. I'm gonna take that Vanquish quite happily. Bishop here. Bishop has never been a very good payoff in vampires, and we're barely vampires, and we're also very close to being stuck on 2 Conquistadors, which is sad. We need a Conquistador in the next 2 picks, and I think maybe the bots value them weirdly highly enough just to work us over on that front here, and maybe we just take a mark. A well-timed mark can swing games in this format. Sadness. I actually only have 2 Field of Ruins. Taking one of those over March that we're not going to play seems fine. Missed it. So we only have 2 Conquistadors. Got to decide if we're even going to play them. That's a bummer. I liked taking that chance, though. It would have been very good if we just got lucky and found the one more. Might have to play these, we'll see. Not playing any of this, though. Right, it wasn't the wheel pick, but it was the last pick we hadn't seen. And there were not going to be any Conquistadors to wheel. Here's a vamp that we could talk about playing. We'll take it. We'll think about it. See how aggro we feel we are, but probably not. Maybe. Hey, big ol' PhD, welcome. All right. Not thrilled with what we've ended up with. Maybe the pivot to red would have been okay, but it's not like we saw a ton of amazing... Like, it's not like the red was just gushing from there. And mainly because there's not a lot... Red can't really gush in this format, which is why I was not super keen on heading into the red-white direction. Five cuts, and what's our situation? We got 18 creatures, 10 spells, so a mix, and not playing the barrier. We have enough ascend going on if we play the sentry especially, that and the harpy, that we generally like to be creature, we want to be creature heavy. Cut one, recover. Oh yeah, we've got two of these. What about this end of things? This is another ascend payoff. So I'm into trying to get ascend going, but at what cost? Because the rest of our spells are pretty good. We could cut a verdict even, or cut the mark. Again, though, mark can just... Because I'm trying to not cut creatures, but you're right. If we can afford to cut a creature, and this is probably the one to cut. Yeah, I don't want to cut the mark with our triple Pterodon. Mark on Pterodon, if they are out of removal, is really rough. So is 7/7 lifelink Dust Chargers. So what can we cut then? 42. Yeah, let's cut a 1-drop also. Again, I'm trying to hold on to permanents, but this is a permanent. So mark actually helps our ascend, and recover in a sense is a spell that does as well. And I think if we're doing this kind of stuff, the Conquistador is the odd card out. We're close. I do think we have to run these two. It's kind of sad, but even a 3, it's still a 3-mana 2-for-1 as long as we don't draw both. If we draw both, it's just the worst. It's so sad. But we're going to have to do that. Am I crazy to want to cut the verdict with double Vanquish, double Moment? I guess Verdict helps get rid of big stuff. I always get down to 40. 41, anybody who kind of finds ways to rationalize their 41 is just rationalizing what they have to know deep down is a suboptimal play. Make the tough cut. And what's our tough cut? Could be Snubhorn. I think it's a non-creature, though. I think I'm going to try it without the Divine Verdict for at least one round here. I think we have Bonds as well. And Bonds is more Ascend supporting removal as well. We have a lot of good removal, so I'm going to try it without the Verdict. And Vamp Light. and is, yeah, Swamp seems fair as the extra because of this Skittering Heartstopper and its activation. All right. Not loving it, but I think we can do better than the 0-3 we got last time we played this format. That was rough, but just had some rough luck. But this is not an amazing deck, so my hopes are not in the 4+ range, but if we could crawl to a 3-3, that would be great. I'd feel good about that. It's got some potential, though. It's got some potential. I get you, K-Cat, but 41 cards is not my brand. Uh-oh. Let's see how bad that becomes. We've got to vanquish the weak, so it's not like we're gonna... Got a couple of them. I just don't like having to use my removal on a card like that, but we'll see what is required. I'm going to take the 1, see if we get to vanquish something better that they play on 3, and then untap for the Charger. Try to make up ground in this race here. Just so-so. This is just a so-so deck, but it's got enough removal and ascend power that we can totally get there. But if it just didn't get there, it wouldn't surprise me either. We could get Hornswoggled or something here, but it looks like they're both mana and color starved, or do we go first? I can't remember if we went first or not, but I'm going to see if this gets countered. Yeah, Swoggled. So now they get unstuck on color. I wasn't going to not play a creature there, though. Their mana looked very vulnerable. How do I feel? Like, we got this Pride of Conquerors that does literally nothing. Oh, but, well, we can't get the treasure off of that because the Vanquish doesn't work, but we can bonds that at least. Hornswoggle flooded. Okay. Well, I would like to take care of that Scoundrels right now, but we're going to drop the Revenant while we can get underneath the Hornswoggle, because we only have one creature. If we had multiple creatures, we could consider just leading with our worst one until they swoggled it or whatever, but we got nothing, so but the Revenant, so I really wanted to make sure it landed. They may not even want to attack the Scoundrels into it because of the treasure, but we do not want to trade our Revenant for the Scoundrels. We want to remove the Scoundrels. Interesting. So if we bonds, we can't attack with the Revenant. I'm going to go with the Vanquish Snubhorn play here. We're going to vanquish the flyer and start attacking. We're going to take a pretty big hit here. But we have the removal to recover afterwards. And again, I want to operate on the creature front while we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be 8 permanents. Interesting that Oppo is not interested in sending the scoundrels. So here's 9. This will be 9. You know, that was 8, and this will be 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we do get the double spell, so we can vanquish the Winder before it gets to City's Blessing, and then bonds the Scoundrel. Sentry attack was accidental, but... yeah, you know I love me the blue in this format, so passing all those secrets was tough, but I think we have a fine deck. Good removal. Fine, not great. Alright, well we still get to recast it, and we get to the magical blessing. I don't want to trade the sentry for the hauler. We want to eventually pride for creatures you control. Yeah, we could block and eat. But I want to use this offensively if we can. Alright, that's good. Because that means Oppo intends to block, you know, like play defense with the hauler, and we can both win combat and get in extra damage up top with a pride on offense here. Not the best Pride of Conquerors I've ever seen, but if it resolves, it's pretty good for us. Alright, we're in a good spot in this race. We don't really have card draw, so we could sandbag this, but... yeah, I'll sandbag this. We don't have card draw, so... might as well pretend. We have Recover, which I guess is card draw. Maybe with Recover I should be playing my lands. That's really the decision on that kind of thing. Like, but if we recover right now, we'd be recovering a Dust Charger, and I would be able to recover and cast the Dust Charger. Although Recover draws a card as well. Yeah, I'm going to start playing my lands because of the potential of Recover to make us want to have as much land out as we can. We have a clean attack here, so let's take it. Yeah, I did not think this card was going to be playable when I saw it, and then Ascend turned out to be attainable enough to make things like Snubhorn playable. Amulet in Limited. So this is this doesn't seem playable to me in Limited. Instant sorcerers really cost 1 less to cast. Charge counter. Yeah, I mean, paying 4 to make your stuff cost 1 less doesn't seem correct. Giving him the Hornswoggle here, I guess, but, you know, they just get a token out of it, and we get to keep applying pressure. Go home, Robert, you're sick. Copying spells is a nice payoff, but it's not realistic in Limited. You gotta play this first, and then afterwards play 4 more instants or sorceries, and then your 5th instant or sorcery that you play in limited after your primal amulet is doubled. That is... Oh, let's see. We got a Plunderers. Doesn't matter. Looks like we just win. It has some power, but its build around and the ability to build around it is very difficult in limited. Hey, look, gold. All right, we've got our monthly reward on this one now. Oh, I hadn't updated anything, and let's update stuff. I'm a professional. And our account is a free play, right? Yeah, all right. Now, at least is correct. Ah, okay, I see. Foo Fighter up next. Nothing early yet, but we're going to keep this nice perfect split on the 4 lands and reasonable removal spell and some good action on 5. That's a little concerning for an opening play from an opponent with this hand. Rayska, thank you so much for the sub. But we'll get a Conquistador on 3 now. We just really don't want to draw the other one. Wowie, Oppo is like, I am aggro, what are you? I am super happy, that's what I am. Red can't really do much about a moment of... Red-black can't do much about a moment of craving, and they do play crazy things like auras and stuff, so I'm going to give them a chance to aura up their Nest Robber or whatever before I drop this moment. Great. We get our Conquistador before we accidentally draw the other one and get some value out of this. And you see, it's like, it's not even like we only have the one. And it's not even that, it's not that bad, you know? It's not great. But it just 3 and I become thrilled. Like, a 3 for 1 for 3 mana, even when it's just a 2/2. Turns out that's 6 power and 6 toughness for effectively 1 card, so that's alright. Oppo in the tank. What do we got, Foo Fighter? So many options, so many ways to kill me. Not loving that place so far. Yeah, I don't care about that at all. That is going to be sad for you. Well, I care about it a little, I guess. Trample Menace. Just trying to decide if we want to take this out via removal or creature, and if removal, when? Because we could also Revenant. We could take 1 more hit and Revenant, but we're at 13. Let's not mess around. Let's take the 2 for 1, get a couple of life, get in for damage, and hope that we can just find some land and pull away with the strength of our remaining hand. Just play the most mana. Double Craving in the yard. No, nothing to recover yet. I'll make this offer. No. Let's see. I don't know if we're racing or not here. Trying to decide if we want damage or... They're not obviously not blocking with the Revenant. Yeah, I think we are racing with their being stuck on mana, so I'll make this offer. Clean offer. Great, we found our 5th land, which unlocks the hand. I'm a little bit of a coward. Sometimes there's some cowardice on this stream. We can't all be Luis Scott Vargas. Wish we could make it a little bigger. We can't. It's okay. Still in a good spot. I'm going to throw out the Pterodon. Let's see, 1, we got 6, this would make 7, like, and there are 8, 9. Yeah, let's start with the... No, we have a Recover. I'll start with the Harpy because we have a Recover. I was thinking if the Harpy died, I didn't want to put my better creature at risk, but we are trying to race this thing, and if they want to kill our Harpy, we have a Recover for it, so... Oh man, did I ever learn to comply. In fact, I'm gonna call this bluff on the strength of the Recover. They 2-for-1 themselves for that, and we do have the Recover, so I'm fine with that result. And I am again going to play the thing with the biggest power here. See you, Rob. Is that the Robert I spoke of before? Probably. What did I say about Robert before? I'll let you know if it's the same one. Let's Vanquish and Lieutenant here. Gets him down to 4 and really puts him up against it on 3 mana. Yes, that is the Rob I worked with before. All right. Notched another. Would I take Vanquish over Craving? That's a good question. Pack 1, pick 1 if those are both in the pack. Oh, thank you for the sub there. Become Death. Really appreciate that. Pack 1, pick 1. They do similar things. I'm probably taking Moment of Craving. It's fits in the 2 slot. It gains you some life, which is the incidental life gain is nice. And they take care of a lot of the same creatures, although Vanquish, you know, like Vanquish takes care of like a Dust Charge, or, you know, so maybe Vanquish is a little better. It's a really great question. They are very close. We're going to keep this. We have a turn 3 we know we want to play now. It's always so nerve-wracking to draw cards with a Conquistador in your hand. All right, swim down. Thank you. Well, let's see how much better Oppo made out with their Elysian Conquistadors than we did. They got 1 extra. I know, I got resubs and stuff. It's great. Yeah, we can't just sit here and accept the beats. Well, here you go. Like, Vanquish takes care of this and Moment doesn't. It's starting to come around on Vanquish. I think it just takes care of more things. So I would start on Vanquish over Moment at this point. Just thinking things through here. We'll play the Charger, and the Brawler gets through, but hopefully this holds off the Martyr and these Conquistadors coming down the pipe. We'll take a hit from the Brawler if they want to attack, and we have that Vanquish waiting for it eventually. Yeah, I'm Impale all the way. Not even close for me. Impale over Bombard because of color preference in the format. Ooh. They get a little value out of this, but we get to vanquish it still, so... Come on, auto tap. Pretend I have something. Pretend I have something. Please. We're going to sit tight. I don't want to offer a Dusk Charger. Well, we have Moment of Craving, but I think they would just take it. If I were Oppo, I would take the 3 and happily swing back for 3 with the lifelink, so we're going to stay back on D. With the Moment also at the ready. Woof! What do we do about that? Besides lose. We have to, like, race that bomb now. And that's going to be really difficult to do unless we find a way to kill the Queen's Agent. I guess we're going to have to try and shrink the Queen's Agent and eat it with the Dusk Charger. Or we could now threaten the Heartstopper, I suppose. And do this. I don't think this can get us right away. It's too much, so it's 8 before they get the first creature here. So they don't get it. They can't play it and activate it, and they only have 1 white mana also. So we get a short reprieve here. We have 8 toward Blessing, which is not close enough, really. We can play the vampire and make this a 3/3 menace, and then potentially get the Moment of Craving trick in. I think maybe that's our best hope here. We need to keep attacking. Like, we're not really going to beat the procession if we play a long game. So I'm just trying to find ways to keep attacking that give us the potential to have some outplay moments or whatever. You know, some trickery. But this huge lifelinker is a problem. I'm really hoping Oppo decides to block here with it. Great. I still feel pretty up against it with how powerful Profane Procession is, but it is a commitment. They gotta, you know, spend 5 now a turn to start picking off my creatures, but I mean, it's 3 removal spells in one, followed by a draw 3. Like, you cannot beat that card in the long game. So we are just trying to plow ahead. And to that end, nothing to really recover yet that we want. We just need to charge in with everything all the time. I could have played something to activate Dust Charge. I probably should, just to have turned on City's Blessing right now, so I guess that's a mistake, but they're gonna exile the Charger anyway, so it doesn't matter too much that we didn't make that a 5/5. That's why I didn't really care, because I fully expect the activation from Procession here. So they're pretty far off from 0 to think that we have a realistic chance against that, but we also, yeah, and they exile, so we can't even recover like the Dust Charger. Yeah, it's bad. We can Snubhorn to at least give our Pterodon vigilance before they remove it. We're going to recover something. I guess the Voracious Vamp gets the Conquistador in. I don't know. Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, man. Almost scoopable here, with no ways to deal with Profane Procession in the deck. But it's possible the Mausoleum Harpy goes all the way if we sandbag that after the Procession is done exiling stuff. Sure. Interesting they went to that play. I don't know why they wouldn't just keep processing. Now they can drop a Conquistador and process. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, not quite. Are they trying to get to 10 mana to double exile or something? I don't know. I'm not sure what's up there. Not sure. See, it doesn't have lifelink or anything, so if we attack with everything, it eats the Snubhorn, and they go to 5. And we can play the Harpy, and the Harpy gets bigger and kind of forces them then to consider the Profane Procession option. We could also play the Dusk Charger after combat and just have something that actually trades with the Brawler instead of being eaten by it. The question is losing the Sentry worth getting an extra 2 points of damage in? Because we could also just get him to 7 and leave the Snubhorn and have Dust Charger, Snubhorn, Conquistador, and then next turn we drop Harpy in that spot. I'm going to try that. Yeah, you keep the City's Blessing forever. So I'm trying to make them have to have the procession up. Although it looks like they are close to... I think they're just going for the double procession activation. It's a little greedy, but I think it's pretty powerful. They're going to... if they activate twice. Oh, they're not going to? All right. I think we're coming up just a little bit short, but, you know... like, do they have... the trouble is they have a good flyer there, but maybe we can get our Harpy up big enough in time. It's not over yet. Not over yet. Right, it's our... yeah, let's do this. Either this Harpy's going to get us there or it's not. Oh, I do have the City's Blessing Double D, sorry. It's this icon, shows up over here. Oh, my face is over the blessing. Got it. That makes sense. Sorry. My view is different from yours. I wonder... yeah. Well, not sure what's up here. This is... I hope they're just gonna throw out the pterodon from underneath this land. But there's not much else for us to do on that front. I'm going to just attack with the Harpy. Leave the Conquistador back to block the Brawler. Deny them a card. Oh, they're just going to chump with the Lookout, sure. Nantuko, what up? Well, okay, making the horsey. Drawing lots of cards, that's trouble. We're at 9 cards. Maybe we could flip this into a win via decking, but we're gonna do this. You know, and do like that. Still need something off the top here, because they can make a flyer to block no matter what. With this. Oppo has the advantage here, but it's possible they just don't have the tools for flyers that they've drawn, and we find something to survive. All right, they have multiple solutions now, and if they drop the 2/5, though, they still can't kill the Harpy, so we got to keep attacking with the Harpy. And of course we draw a land. Yeah, they are forced to block. Well, no, I guess we just lose now. Like, yeah, we needed help off the top, like I said. It's disappointing. Yeah, I was denying a card, and whenever we chump the Charger, it's going to be like, basically, I felt like the only way we could win is if somehow the Harpy was going to make it through cleanly. Like, if they only... Here's how we would win. We, the only thing they have for the flyer is our Pterodon underneath their tomb, and we draw something else for the ground, and the Harpy gets through. So because of that, I wanted to stop them from drawing, so that they had fewer chances to find an answer for the Harpy in the air. But it was really... We really needed everything to fall into place there. And it didn't. Yeah, not a bad stand against a very powerful Magic card, so... Thought we might get there. Good stand, good stand. Nothing for the Lieutenant to do yet, but we'll still keep. We got both our colors and a nice removal spell and a 2/3 play at least. Yeah, that was really the difference, right? Like, either they get a card right away, or we maybe get one more untap step. But it felt like it came down to they just had to have nothing except that one single Pterodon, and we needed to find some help, so I don't think it mattered. You think not getting the blessing earlier was a mistake? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't... there was one turn where we could have played a creature that would have turned it on a turn earlier, but literally nothing changed, and then we got City's Blessing right after, and... So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we can Vanquish here and start attacking. Right on, B-Mark. Get your work done. Hard to say hard to predict what my schedule and life will be by summertime, you know. I'm just gonna take it as it comes here. Kind of want to just... Yeah, in fact I am. I'm going to offer the lieutenant here. So that I can recover it and do something this turn that I want to do. I don't want to do the Luminous Bonds. Now I'd like a land of any kind. Not a land of any kind. We can bonds the Brontodon, and it can sack. What else do we have that the Brontodon can get, even? Mark of the Vampire. That's not a big deal, though. We could also Inspiring Cleric. We could Conquistador. I think I like Cleric here. Well, no, we want to make him big. Then it can block this. Yeah, I'll play Cleric here. If we get a land next turn, we get Lieutenant Conquistador, and then we get a bunch of big Vamps. So we got to take 5 here to do this, but we got a nice 4 back. Well... Still pretty good. I think I want to threaten to trade for the Brontodon, though, here. So we'll go no attacks, and also the Scoundrel can't attack into the Cleric now, so we'll see if this is enough to stabilize. Oh, I'll take this offer because we have Luminous Bonds and Mark. Well, shrink the library a bit. Valhallis is asking more about the bots. Hold on, let me figure out this attack, then I'll read that. When you were talking about the draft bots earlier, I was wondering how you think they would have prioritized Grey Merchant back in Triple Theros. Do you think the Gary deck would be similarly positioned as the Gates deck is now? It was pretty dominant on Mitgo back in the day. I drafted it a lot. The bots would, unless they changed how it would work, you know, the bots would decide how valuable that card is roughly and then have some play around it. But the system is just not sophisticated enough to make wild, extreme adjustments to the value of a card based on what's going on in the draft, or at least it wasn't as of the time that I was working on it. I got the Brontodon back, so I'm less interested in putting the Mark out. I'll play the other Conquistador and stay patient here and try and find a land. Path of Discovery is real deal. Does some work. Although, yay, look! A 5th land! So many options turn on with a 5th land. But we're just going to start with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they're out of action, so let's just get on with this. We'll put a Harpy out, do nothing this turn. And next turn we should get Blessing, and the Harpy starts to get very dangerous at that point. Ooh, in a moment of craving, you say. Actually, let's do it this way. I'm going to put the Hunter down to get the Blessing, and then we have Craving as a combat trick. If Oppo gets frisky. Now, the mark should be much better, and I think we'll get this one, unless they find some removal real soon here. Costly Plunder. Okay. Armasaur. Oppo is doing stuff, but nothing I'm afraid of yet. And there's no real need for the mark yet, either. We should just keep playing out stuff. And we would take that trade, right? This is a creature. Whenever another creature dies. Okay. Yeah. We'll send in like so. And start making Night Arbiters. We have 5, 6, 7, but that is not... I guess we just get it here, right? Because we have 7 in the air with the mark, and then enough to go wide in the ground, and we see what they've got, and they can't do anything about it. So yeah, we have... let's put up 7 in the air and attack with everything. Well, she's got lifelink, so I guess they're at a virtual 11. Did I math wrong? No, we got there. Oh no, yeah, I did math wrong. Okay. Funny. Should still be all right unless they found removal. But that that neglected lifelink was potentially costly. All right. That was quite the path of discovery there, though. That was funny. Well, we got at least 500 out of this one. Yeah, it looks good. Wouldn't mind one of our 3-drops, but... Oh, there's a 3. Now I wouldn't mind Oppo playing something we can moment before we untap. As long as we're getting exactly what we ask for. Oh, it's not a great 3 since we don't have anything to menace. But I certainly got what I asked for in terms of something to crave. They could have Skullduggery that would make this go poorly, but we have to try. Ooh, a different 3. You know, I think I'm going to hold on to the Vanquish. Maybe we Vanquish their next play, and we can go Revenant into Voracious. Ooh, yeah. All hail waiting. We could Vampire here, but I would rather spend all our mana, so we're just going to attack and then play the Harpy. I was thinking we were going to lose our Harpy. I'm glad we didn't, because we do have removal. We have the Vanquish for the Pterodon, so we can actually Vanquish and Voracious here. Applying the pressure. We get a land, we get Blessing. And oh, I thought we needed a land, but we had Blessing without it. And that's enough for Oppo. Boom. I don't know if that was a great game, but it was a decisive one. So this is cool. We have 450 gems we've created from gold, because we entered this event with gold, so we're spinning gold into gems as we play. More solid. I want to find the game where I curved out. I think I even did. I play a I think I played a tap land on 1 and then spent mana turns 2 through 7 and won the game on turn 7 with an empty hand. I think that was the most perfectly stuck game I've ever played. Which one was that? Man, yeah, I gotta find that one. I can make a note of that. Anybody remember when that was by chance? Like, what deck I was playing or something? We got pirates here. And then what does it do? Pirate ETB, life loss. Got it. Probably just save the Crave for the Reaver and offer up this here. We don't have 2. I wish we had 2 swamps, then we could Heartstopper and Crave. We can't. So are we Heartstoppering? I'm going to say yeah. If they don't have a fourth land, we could really mess them up by getting rid of the Forerunner now. So another thing we could do is that, but I'm expecting a fourth land. I'm just going to play the Heartstopper. I may regret this if they like show that they didn't have a fourth land, but it's unlikely to make that much of a difference whether they pay 3 or 4 for the Siren. We could also block and kill that. Actually, I like that. Yeah, using all my mana and just treating this as a 2-mana removal spell seems fine to me. They were stuck on land, but we get the Craving play anyway. Do that now. Both stuck on 3. We'll see who busts out of that first. Well, not with land, but the treasure helps there. We found an actual land. Descend with both here. And find our other Conquistador. Could be Skullduggery or something like that, but if they want to use any resources on taking out this Legion Conquistador, I'm cool with that. I see. It was just a Raider's Wake deal. We'll discard the Conquistador. And probably discarding one more card to that, and we have to figure out which one we want that to be. Probably the Recover. And so then we just play the Pterodon out here and then keep Vanquish. We could also Vanquish now, and then I don't like vanquishing a Sailor, but it actually lets us keep the Recover because they won't be able to attack unless they have something hasty. You know, but then what? So then they play something else they get to attack with, we untap, and we draw another card, and we're still going to end up discarding to it. So I'm going to just engage in a race. It's possible we're supposed to ditch the Vanquish here even, and just make sure we keep Recover to keep up our pressure in the air. Yeah, we don't have anything good enough in the graveyard now to recover anyway, so we're definitely ditch the Recover. Well, I really wanted to cast that Vanquish, but the Dusk Charger as a 5/5 owns this current board, so we're going to accept the discarding of the Vanquish. And send in. They might need to leave it back in Fear of the Dusk Charger even. So it's possibly... It's almost like we get to vanquish the Sailor either way, because either it taps to attack to make us discard it, or we get to untap and use it. Now they think maybe they've got the defense against the... Oh, really? Really? Okay. Okay. What else you got? Yeah, all right. Interesting. Let's draw some action here. That counts, definitely. I'm going to swing with the Heartstopper on the assumption that Oppo is not looking to block there. They'll take the Conquistador out if we offer that. And I am going to offer that. And then we drop the Pterodon. Oh, really? Well... Yeah, you get it, because I really want to drop the Pterodon here. Really surprised they blocked the Death Toucher. We got lucky. Found what we needed on top. And that should be enough unless they've got something perfect. Oppo had really stabilized there, but we drew the removal spell just at the right time. It pooped up to 5 wins, so you get a free rat burglar for the 5th win. That was a pretty good game. Maybe I'll mark that one as a good game. Valhalis is all upset about the lack of meme equity. Well, Valhalis, you know what you can do?
All right, everyone, chill.
Another not the greatest 3-drop draw. Maybe we'll vanquish something. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of strong opinions on RIX. I don't know. I just find it a reasonably enjoyable format. It's not the best thing ever, but generally pretty happy with the RIX draft. No, I don't. I add out Ace. I don't think Raider's Wake is a good card in the format because I don't think aggro is particularly good in the format, and it's really only good in aggro, and it's often going to do what it did there, which is, you know, it got a couple of cards or whatever, or maybe even got 3, but that was like its upside. That was its best case, you know, and a lot of times it's just going to not do... You're on defense and not attacking, and then it's a straight-up blank. That's the problem. Applying Brian Wong's quadrant theory to it, it is a straight-up blank when you're behind, and that's what really makes it not a great card in the format. We do get to attack for free with a Dino Hunter. Wish we had a vampire to enable, but I'm not going to just sit on the Vanquish and hope. I'm going to play something to pressure. Oh, I'm with you on that, Scrytop. Got plenty of rants about why I can't play the latest set for rank. Makes no sense at all. Not the slightest. All right, we're going to vanquish the Dusk Charger before it becomes unvanquishable and continue the march. We're going to want to get these Pterodons out and try to get Oppo off of removal and then drop the mark. Logistics Man says, if I am thinking of getting into it with some decks that have a good chance to win, what cost might it be for enough cards to do so? That's a good question. If you just want to log in on day one and buy a standard deck, I'm not the best person to ask because the stuff I know about the economy that would have driven that in the past is not something I necessarily know about right now. I'm going to not send in the Vampire or the Hunter. The Glorifier shuts this down right now, so we'll just go out, start on the Pterodon plan here. But I imagine... I think if you spent like $100 and just bought boosters and cracked them to try and get the standard deck you wanted, I think you could probably get any standard deck you wanted for $100. Oh yeah, we have no attacks here, right? Yeah, and it depends on which deck you want, right? Like, a good chance to win, the first Mythic Championship was won by a $60 deck. Yeah, Scrytop brings up Mono Blue. If you want to if you don't care what you play and you just want to be competitive, you can play Mono Blue and get there on 4 rare wild cards and 0 mythic wild cards. So you can be competitive for super cheap. The question is, are you competitive in the way you want to be playing? Sunrise, Seeker, Vigilance, not a big deal for us there. We're going to try to own the skies and see if Oppo can do anything about it, and if not, the mark starts to look real good. Yeah, you can build stuff for free over time, but time isn't free, right? This whole experience, the arena economy and the arena value proposition, is about whatever combination of time and money you have to throw at what you want to do, you know? I'll be sad if we, like, get blown, like, what blows us out? I don't think anything really blows us out. If they play a combat trick, they get one of these, right? Make him have it. They have a combat trick, it's a 1-for-1 trick for Pterodon. If they don't, I just get to eat the Seeker? Death Touch. What are they going to get? Is there instant speed Death Touch? I didn't think there was. I guess I didn't think there was instant speed Death Touch in the format, but maybe I'm forgetting something. Alright, it's what I thought. It's a combat trick that becomes a 1-for-1, which is alright. No problem. Now we got a Heartstopper to kind of laugh at that thing on the ground, and we can... I'm going to risk the mark now. If their big play there was Moment to take out one Pterodon, they just don't have... I don't think they have other removal, so I'm going to get aggressive and start sending. With this big lifelinker. How are the drafts working now? Are you talking about economically? There's a best of one ranked draft available for entry with 5,000 gold or 750 gems, and there is one traditional draft that is 1,500 gems and does not take gold. Well, this implies they have something for the Heartstopper, but we're going to make them show it to us. Or maybe they're just thinking they have to race somehow now. We're going to block like this. It's not like got first strike or anything, right? Yeah, just lifelink and vigilance. I feel like this Heartstopper is going down somehow, but got to make him have it. And got to keep going with our strength. Yeah, there you go. At least they don't get the lifelink. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9. Hooray, 10. Could send in the Voracious, and Pride of Conquerors would actually then trade, allow it to trade with the Sunrise Seeker. I like that. I'm down with that. Then I think Dusk Charger and Pterodon are just going to control the board. Wow. Okay. Not something you generally play around. I certainly didn't. But at least they did it before we wasted a Pride on that. They could have really blown us out. Thinned our deck quite a bit at least. And we still have stable. Glad we thinned our deck to find that land. Get out of here, out ace. Wow, they got a constructed deck over here. I think that just kind of wipes us out. We need a... What would help us? What do we got? We got another one of those. Need a Recover. Or the other Dust Charger here. Harpy's alright, but it doesn't quite get us there. I guess with Pride we can do something here. We're going to have to try and take out the Seeker with the Harpy if they don't have anything else other than what we're seeing. And then we take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from the rest of it. I would have just swung away if I was Oppo. I don't have the ability to spend time picking off tutus or whatever. You gotta... maybe we had a chance there, but just flooded out even after getting wrecked by the wreckage. Literally can't survive with any block. So, loss number 2. here we go. 6 wins? Question mark? We'll keep it. Need some black, but we have a Conquistador for 3. And Inspiring Cleric also. Logistics Man, every fall there's a fall set, and at fall set a rotation is triggered. So when a fall set hits, the oldest 4 sets rotate out of standard and are no longer legal, and it becomes a 5 set standard. So you have the previous 4 sets and the new one, and then they add 3 more over the course of the year. And now they have 8, and then after 8, then you get the next fall, and a new set comes out, and the oldest 4 go away. So standard is always 5 to 8 sets large, depending on where we are in the cycle. Taking that because we're happy to trade off a Conquistador for that companion if given the chance. Uh-oh, out Conquistador again, I bet. Our paltry 2. Yeah. Decline that, and... uh-oh. Conquistador trumping mine. I'm going to say no blocks, and we'll trade it off for, like, the Inspiring Cleric or something. Woof. Well, we've got a Vanquish for that guy, and certainly we will be using it. I guess we'll trade with this one. Obviously can't Vanquish without the black, but it's nice to know that if we find our black, we will be able to. As it is, that was our literal only play. No blocks. Need help. Kind of in swamp off the top, or what are we going to do here, territory? Alright, swamp off the top. So we do have Vanquish for the Deacon, which we absolutely need to do, or we're just going to lose to the Deacon. And if we get another swamp off the top, we get Heartstopper with activation, or Pterodon plus Heartstopper for future activation, and maybe we can get the mark down and regain some of our life. And here we've got blocks on the 2/2/2s, and we'll take 3 and go to 7. You get the Cleric back with Recover, maybe gain some life. Thanks, chat, for helping out Logistics Man with the deets, so I can focus on this nonsense. Okay, we did not find another swamp, unfortunately, and they went pretty darn wide. However, Pterodon Pterodon, if it lives, shuts down everything, so let's hope that this is enough for Oppo to put on the brakes. Don't kill it. Leave my Pterodon alone, or this event is over. All right. That pretty much did us in. Why did they take 8 years to remove our big blocker and attack? Come on, Oppo. Get on the ball. Don't torture me so. Yeah, we got hung up a little too long there. Too bad. Oppo had a reasonable deck. I think ours could have hung with it with a little better draw there, but we got to give this one up. Ran it up to 5-1. Thought we could get a 6 or 7 out of it, but then crashed and burned a couple quick times to land at 5-3. $650. Not bad for having spent only gold on this, you know? This is really how you can go infinite through the EV that these events offer, is the converting of gold into gems.